Hello and welcome to Wargame Red Dragon. This is another deck view, and this one is focused on the Blue Dragons, which consists of the Japanese and South Koreans, obviously a blue 4 team. And let's just jump right in straight away with logistics as we usually do. Obviously we have the FOB, which is usually, I use that in every single deck because I'm big on the old resupplying, because usually the AA support I use, they have little missiles. Okay, so first, for obviously resupplying my ground forces, I have the K511 cargo, 10 points. Doesn't carry that much, but you get 14 of them, pretty effective. You can get a couple of them in a unit, just move them back and forth between your FOB and your infantry or your AA support. And for command units, I just use the standard little jeep, the K111CV. Mainly because you get 7 of them, so it makes me more manoeuvrable in the battlefield, and it doesn't cost me another any more unit points. But yeah, I use that. I could eventually switch to something that has some defense, or just something that looks quite cool, because I think that looks kind of cool actually. Even though there's no way that the two guns are the same. What's this one? Sorry, I'm getting slightly distracted. Just having a little look-see. Okay, now on to infantry. So, straight away we start off with our AA, which I've got in this KM 900, yeah, which is amphibious, so if I want to do amphibious assault I can. You see, pretty standard AA, but I believe they are the best AA in which this coalition has. And next I have my, I'd say more elite, but they're not really. They're still pretty low end infantry. But for the infantry that these armies have, I guess they do their job well. They might be switched eventually for somebody like these, the Kyoto Tai. They have a nicer range in that missile, but they have the same accuracy. So I might switch them out later for an infantry unit such as them, or even an infantry unit as these guys. 25 points, so they must be, I'd assume they're elite. Yeah, they're shock, so they're just below the elite units. As my elite unit, actually, speaking of which, I have the UDT SEALs, I believe trained by Navy SEALs in South Korea. Yeah, that's South Korea, I think. Yeah, no, it's kind of, don't believe yourself, believe in yourself. Use M60 shorty, same as the Navy SEALs do. That carbine, N727, and then just that rocket launcher, which does its job, I guess. Transported in the UH-1H, another M60, just to get them to the battlefield. I usually do my elite infantry and helicopters, because I want them to be more manoeuvrable. And now we have a extremely cheap infantry, which are 15-man squads. The M14, that I believe the only reason it didn't become standard to American infantry at one point was because it was too expensive to manufacture. But it's one of the most accurate weapons, I'd say, for its range, and it is used, or modifications of it are used still in the American army as sniper rifles. So I mean, that is it's a pretty good rifle. Maybe this is like a cheaper modification, like a what would you say, a fake counterpart? Would that be the right term? But you know what I mean. And although it isn't people in the training of only militia, so as well as that, they'll transport it as well in a K200, which is amphibious, has 2 Brownings, but they're a bit glitched at the moment, kinda seems. Because they kinda go through each another as well. And just so you know who it is, there's a nice little flag there. And last but not least, our only Japanese infantry are anti-tank infantry, as well as transported in something that's amphibious, so I can go for a complete amphibious assault here. They have this anti-tank missiles, which I haven't really seen before. And of course it's a work in progress because they're a completely new unit. 2-man squad, standard. It's got pretty good accuracy, pretty good AP and a good range. Next, onto support. Firstly, we bring in the K30 Bio, whatever that may be. It's more for helicopter combat, but it will open fire on plane jets when they get too close, so I can use it for that. 7 of them. Next is a Vulcan. I don't know yet if these, like for instance, if you had to put them in the coast with your fleet, say your fleet was close enough to the coast anyway, if they would open fire and anti-ship missiles as they've come in, or as amphibious, so you could put it on islands and then you can support your fleet by trying to shoot down any missiles. I don't know if they can do that, but if they could, it would be pretty cool. And then we have obviously the Hawkpip 2, which is the ultimate, I'd say, anti-air for the whole of Blue 4. Only 3 missiles, so that is why I was talking about the resupplying and getting back and forth. As well as that, there's this, the Tansan, another new kind of anti-air unit. Same amount of points, but it's got better range against helicopters. Doesn't have the best accuracy, but I'm sure it'll make up for that. And last but not least, the gun tank. Pretty much the exact same as the other bingo, except it has better armor and does it have better accuracy? It has better stabilizers, so it's better on the move. Okay, next we have the tanks. Kinda went expensive in the tanks, so straight away we start with the K1A1, which is I believe the best tank that this army has. They only get 3 of them, but they'll do their job. Next, 70-point tank. Still got that long range cannon, although it's weak in armour, and it has a 40mm frag grenade launcher, so it's pretty effective against infantry as long as you don't let the infantry get in anti-tank range. Which to standard infantry is about 525 metres. Next I have my just spam tank pretty much. 10 points a tank. These are more kind of used, I'd use these to more kind of set up ambushes with 4 of them. More likely for hopefully infantry transports just coming down the road, transporting infantry, can open fire in them and get some easy kills. So as I was saying, they're not worth much, so I don't lose much. This yet again has a long range cannon, so it's more of a kind of sniper tank, but it is extremely weak. So I need to make sure this is for more engaging stuff, as well as like the infantry tanks, like infantry transport, as well as medium tanks to low end tanks. I'd say more likely low end tanks. Last but not least, I have another elite tank. That's the Japanese elite tank. 160 points yet again, that long range cannon. I believe it's exact, no, it's not the exact same. This one has better accuracy and stabilizers. Same AP though, so, and only one M2 Browning, was this one has an M60 as well. No wait, oh, an M240 even nicer. Next, move on to recon. So weird recon, but we start off with Rangers, which yet again probably have American training, just because they're copying the names. It's like for Australia they've got the SASR, the SARS, which is pretty much just trained the SAS. Everything they do was initiated through the SAS. But anyway, these Rangers, they've got not the best assault rifle, but of course their main objective is to see the enemy. They do come in this Chinook style helicopter, which is the KV-103, which has the same strength as the Chinook, so it's less harder to shoot down pretty much. Next we have a special reconnaissance unit, like now the British SBS. Used to be the SAS in the last game, but I guess it's nice they brought in the SBS as well. The British do have, oh what's it called, it's like special reconnaissance, regiment, the SRR, which I hope to bring in at one point, because I mean that makes sense, reconnaissance, recon. But anyway, back to the task on hand, going through this deck. Pretty expensive. Travelled in this U1, H1 as well. Surprisingly is... Oh yeah, no, it should be less points. But yeah, they're pretty much the same. We've got a better assault rifle, longer range. Anyway, one of my recon helicopters, anti-air helicopter as well. Just so I've got that little capability against any helicopters that come into range of this. It does limit what it can do, but I mean it is recon, so it'd be supporting it with something else. Next, the Fiat, the Fiat Punto. It's the Fiat Punto. No, I'm kidding. It's the Fiat 6616. 20mm round cannon and a 40mm frag rounds. I'm pretty sure I used this in a game, and it got quite a few kills for what it's worth. And then eventually I believe 10 airstrike, but it was a formidable little vehicle. Last but not least, more reconnaissance helicopters, much cheaper than the first one, and this would be more obviously spotting the enemy, but I'd use this to suppress any rapid advances I could see happening, because it could stun tanks and then it could call an airstrike in on them. Although my airstrikes don't really seem to go well very often. Next we have a support unit, so I don't have vehicle units even. Straight away we start with the ITO, and this, I don't even want to pronounce that, it's just a bunch of bloody letters. It's a, what are they cried again, an M1A1? No, that's Abrams. What are they cried? It's definitely an M11, something like that. It's an American light transporter, started off as it was used in Vietnam, and then discovered it was completely useless because it had zero bottom armor and Vietnam was full of mines. So every time they ran over a mine, all the infantry within died. That's why if you find pictures of Vietnam, you usually see the American troops riding on the top of these instead of inside, because they know they're more vulnerable inside of it. Anyway, we've got two of them, so we've got a good amount of ITO defense. And then these are the more accurate ones, despite being in the little Jeep. These have 70% accuracy, 25 AP, comparison to 6% accuracy and 20 AP. However, these are not amphibious, but yeah, it doesn't really matter. Last but not least, we have the napalm version of this transport. I'm just calling it transport because that's what I know it as. And this is also amphibious, as you can see, which it's a bit weird since it's napalm, but I guess you do get forest beside the water, and it could be useful for that if there's infantry in them. Next, we have helicopters. We've got straight away. Oh wait, that's the one. We've got the South Korean AHIT, or 1T, is it? Yeah, it looks like a 1T. Now this is obviously, I would say it's designed for taking out medium tanks, damaging, maybe stunning heavy tanks. Actually no, it could take out heavy tanks, but the Hydro missiles are for stunning medium and stunning heavy tanks, as well as destroying light tanks. And it has that Vulcan as well, which has AP power, so it can constantly suppress. Oh no, the rockets would only be able to stun medium tanks. And the ITO would be the finisher to the heavy tanks and medium tanks. I have two sets of them, and then the other one I have is the South Korean yet again, I think that must be a 1, so the H1S, which actually has weaker, wait, what? Oh yeah, it's the lower version. So yeah, it has weaker ITO missiles, but they're still extremely effective. It's the same Hydra missiles, and it has that good Vulcan again. Probably heard that. I just got a message in Skype. I think it's about my flatmates, or wait, well, the flat beside us. There seems to be a lot of action going on there. There's screaming, shouting, kicking indoors. All fun and games. Alright, air, we have an anti-radar jet, the KF-160, which kind of looks like an F-16, I believe. Yeah, I believe it's F-16. It has a nice Vulcan's a minigun. Yeah, Vulcan minigun, but this might be a different variation. I might be completely wrong with that. As well as 2 anti-radar ground missiles, which are fire and forget, suppression and enemy air defences. Oh, right, yeah, that's that, yeah, right. Oh, okay. Shit's going down. And these anti-air missiles, which are also fire and forget, which are the best kind. Good accuracy as well, good stabilising, and good range. Next we have a slightly cheaper, but this is my bomber. This is a variation of the Phantom, the F4 Phantom. American jet, which never had any machine guns, but of course the Japanese get the machine gun on it. Nice, a nice Vulcan. As well as these Sparrows, which still have good range, I'd say, to airplanes, but they're slightly less accurate. As well as 8 350kg bombs, which makes this my main, well, my only bomber. And have a quick look at Navy again. My Navy's pretty standard at the moment because I've not been able to try it. So we've got, I'm not even going to name them, I'm just going to go through them. That has been reduced in points as well, so I think everything's been slightly reduced in points for NATO, because NATO's Navy is slightly weaker. So giving you the chance to get more guys in. Anyway, thanks for watching this Blue Dragons deck. It's called Blue Dragons as well deck. And goodbye.